Imagine a world in which music didn't exist. One in which supermarkets, elevators, and doctor's office waiting rooms were all left eerily vacant by the absence of our favorite songs. A world in which the only music that existed was the highly unoriginal and electronically produced house music. Although I admit this scenario is far-fetched as far as today's standards go, with an absence of music education, this 1984-esque world is a very logical conclusion. As it stands now, tough economic times are upon us, and families and organizations alike are clamoring to consolidate their budgets. Schools today are under such a tight crunch that they cannot provide basic items to students, such as pencils, tissues, and hand sanitizer. Unfortunately, this means that schools are also cutting essential programs from their curriculum, and music education no longer has a place among the budgets of many public schools. Because music is essential to a well-rounded education, we must fight to ensure that music retains its importance among public schools everywhere. We must not allow schools to remove music education programs because music is a subject that defines culture everywhere, from Western civilizations to ancient Oriental societies. For example, the Jazz Age was characterized as an indulgent, fun-loving society that always had time for a good party. This era was characterized from the music stylings of Billie Holiday, Duke Ellington, and Louis Armstrong. Because music today evolves from music in the past, we risk erasing a piece of history, detracting from music as it is today, if we erase this education from students' curriculum. Second, music education has countless benefits in respect to other areas of learning. For example, there has been substantial evidence that standardized testing scores have been higher by music education. A study done by McMaster University in Canada asserts that students with at least 1 year of music education had a better IQ, verbal memory, and math understanding than those students who had no music education at all. Second, SAT scores have also been higher as a result of music education. According to the College Board, students with music education scored 41 points higher on average on the math exam and 57 points higher on the verbal exam. Because SAT scores are a major part of college admissions, this suggests that musicians not only score higher on the SAT, but also get into better schools. Additionally, music instruction helps develop both sides of the brain. While traditionally math is said to exercise the left side of the brain and reading the right side of the brain, music effectively simultaneously does both. It engages your brain in both abstract reasoning, which is the translation of musical notes, and spatial temporal ability, which is the execution of playing an instrument. Jazz music especially, which incorporates improvising, which exercises the right brain, and complex rhythms and syncopation, which exercises the left brain. Because of this, music education is tremendously important. In addition to academic benefits, musical education provides benefits over a scope of other areas. For example, playing an instrument is similar to learning another language. It requires lots of practice. Agnes McConaughey, my personal music teacher, who boasts an estimated 50 years of instruction experience under her belt, asserts that 1 to 2 hours of practice a day are required to effectively learn to play an instrument. This instills extreme discipline in our students. Also, music education provides a vehicle for self-expression. It expresses emotions we can often not put into words, such as love, anger, or fear. To play music is to transform black notes on a page into beautiful, complex melodies that often fit together in such a perfect way as to tell a story. Do we really want to take this opportunity away from our students? Those that oppose keeping music education in schools make several claims to justify their position. For example, they assert that to keep up with college competition, we must focus on subjects that result in higher GPAs for students. However, it's because of this opposition that musicians may have a leg up when it comes to college admissions. In a competition between two students with similar GPAs and SAT scores, a musician will oftentimes win out because they have such skills as discipline and teamwork that demonstrate to colleges that they have more experience than other students who do not have music education. As a community, we can and should do all we can to ensure that music education remains a core part in our students' lives. The VH1 Save the Music Foundation has provided $48 million in new instruments to 1,800 public schools across 100 cities nationwide. It has impacted the lives of 1.8 million children simply by providing them with a vehicle for self-expression. Because I know that most of us do not have time to write letters to legislators or things like that, only a small donation, which takes up a little amount of time, will help them provide instruments to these schools. For those of us who do have more time on our hands, we can write letters to superintendents that demonstrate that we do care that our students have music education in their lives. Also, especially parents of musicians can suggest fundraising events to cover expenses such as sheet music and instruments that school budgets may not cover. Few limits exist when it comes to things we can do to ensure that music education remains essential in our students' lives. Music is something that permeates our lives. We hear it everywhere, from in our car to the grocery store to in elevators. Music provides joy, commemorates an important life event, and can even bring us to tears. Learning to play it exercises our brains in ways that easily transfer to other areas of our lives. It provides an excellent form of self-expression that teaches us discipline, teamwork, and accomplishment. Because music and music education provides us with all these things, we must not allow it to be erased from the curriculum in our schools. Thank you.